welcome you to another knowledge session of Conquest Hub. The last few videos we have been talking about people-centric organizations and how do you create people-centric organizations. So today we are going to talk about leadership, which is a very important element of people-centric organizations. Now, we think that leaders are people with power, with wealth, with designation, but everybody is a leader. The two most important things that you should have to become a leader is number one, you should have purpose, and number two, you should be able to influence other people around you using that purpose.
Purpose is an important characteristic any leader should have. A leader should be able to define why something is done, as opposed to just defining what and how something is done. Purpose is the reason why we wake up in the morning and come to work. It's an inspiration. Just imagine how beautiful this world would have been if all the doctors selected their profession because they want to save and enrich lives. And if all the scientists selected their profession to make this world a safer place, not just for humans, but for all species. So if someone says purpose is only for senior managers in an organization, that's wrong. The famous story about a dialogue between US President John F. Kennedy and a janitor at NASA is a good example. President John F. Kennedy was visiting NASA headquarters for the first time in 1961. While touring the facility, he introduced himself to a janitor who was mopping the floor and asked him what he did at NASA. "I'm helping put a man on the moon," replied the janitor. The janitor didn't say what he was doing, which was quite obvious, but instead explained why he was doing it. His why was more inspirational than what he was doing. So if you have a purpose and if you can influence others around you through that purpose, you will be a great leader. Leadership, therefore, is not about power, designation, and wealth. It's about an inspiring purpose which connects people together. So I will try to summarize all these characteristics that a good leader should have into one story, and that is the story of a tea bag. If you want to be a good leader, be porous like a tea bag. When you dip the tea bag into a cup of warm water, the water comes into contact with the tea inside the bag and brings out the rich flavors of tea, which helps you to make a great cup of tea. If you are a leader, you have to be porous. You should be able to share your knowledge, skills, and experience with your team and enrich their lives. Share your purpose with them and inspire them with the flavors of your purpose. Most leaders today don't share. It can be due to insecurities such as their subordinates surpassing them. These insecurities will not only affect the organization but also our ability to progress as an individual. Secondly, good leaders should overcome their fears. You should not fear to get into hot water like a tea bag. No tea bag ever said, "I can't get into this cup of warm water." If you can't get into hot water, you can't make a good cup of tea. If you're scared of something, we usually avoid it. You can only overcome your fears by embracing them and not by avoiding them. So identify your fears and embrace them bravely. Sometimes one tea bag is not enough to make a good cup of tea. You might need few tea bags to get the right flavor. Likewise, in certain situations, we need more than one leader to make things happen. Don't think that leadership comes with designation. Don't depend on one person to make the difference. Wherever you are in the organization, you can take leadership and drive organizations to success. Also keep in mind that it's all about the tea, not about the tea bag. Nobody ever said, "Wow, I just enjoyed a great tea bag." People always say they enjoyed a good cup of tea. So remember, it's not about you as an individual. It's about the team that you build, the work that you do, and the legacy that you leave behind, which will be remembered. And more importantly, tea bags need to move out. You can only make one cup of tea with one tea bag. Just because you made a great cup of tea, you don't keep reusing the tea bag. New tea bags will take its place. Leaders should also move out at the right time, paving way for new leaders to emerge. So if you want to be a good leader, remember the story of the tea bag.